It's a new month, but the virus is still upon us. If we don't practice the prescribed precautionary guidelines, then summer will catch us still reeling under stay-at-home orders. So, please remain vigilant in order to contain the spread of COVID-19. Frequent hand washing for at least 20 seconds with soap and water. Physical distancing of at least 6 feet. Wearing masks out in public and if you're in home isolation or under quarantine. Importantly, persons who do not need to leave home, in particular those aged 65 and older or those with pre-existing conditions such as diabetes and hypertension, you know the drill, tanna your yard. This is Jamaica Magazine and I'm Theodore Henry. Stay with us.
To properly carry out a hand rub, apply a palmful of the product in your cupped hand, covering all surfaces. Rub your hands palm to palm. Rub your right palm over the back of your left hand with interlaced fingers and vice versa. Rub your hands palm to palm with fingers interlaced. Rub the back of your fingers to opposing palms with fingers interlocked. Rotationally rub backwards and forwards the clasped fingers of your right hand in your left palm and vice versa. Once your hands are dry, they are now safe.
You can read along with us and read many other books by visiting www.bookfusion.com.
Hello children! Happy Read Across Jamaica Day 2020. I am Uncle Jimmy. Even though our schools are closed, our reading journey must continue. We want to remind you of how fun reading can be. Are you ready? Let's begin.
I am growing and mom and dad say it is showing. I am one and on my way. I grow stronger every day. I am two and I stand tall. I can run and kick a ball. I am three and love to play. I can color and draw all day. I am four and I learn fast. I can ride a bike at last. Can you ride a bike? That's great. I am five and in full swing. I help mommy with everything. How do you help mommy at home? I am six and go to school. Sharing with my friends is cool. I am seven and I can spell. Teacher says I am doing well. I am eight and like to write. I read books in bed at night. I am nine and I am smart. My life is off to a great start. I am 10 and big and strong. I learn things all day long. I am 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I am growing stronger every day. I am 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Look out, world, I am on my way. I grow stronger every day. How old are you? What can you do? Make a list of all the things you can do.
Did you enjoy I Am Growing by Kelly Magnus? Remember children, reading is very important, so try to read a book every day. Bye-bye.
Here's how we sign the alphabet.
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J,
I'm Janet Davids, teacher of grade 6 coordinator. Get them interested in the reading. Because you know, research has shown that over the years, as children get older, the interest and motivation in reading decreases. So as a grade 6 teacher, what I try to do is to encourage my students to read a wide variety of genres. Sometimes while I'm teaching, what I do is I bring in a little of what I've read in a book into my whole discussion, you know, like a teenager book. And then they will say, Miss, you know that? And I say, yes, because I read all types of books, and therefore you need to read all types of books. I think parents themselves must be readers. Parents must not allow the students to think that reading is a chore. You know, like sometimes when they're doing something bad and the parents say, go take up your book. No, it should be something fun. So they should find fun ways to read together with the children and read to them sometimes as well. And not just reading just one particular material, but a variety of materials so that they know that reading is not just a book. So those are some of the ways in which I try to pique their interest and get them interested in reading.
As parents, we're all living through this period of uncertainty. Here are 3 tips that I believe will help you to get through the challenges. 1, control your anxieties. There's a whole lot of information out there, so it's important that you limit the amount of information that you consume. Fact check. Trust only the authentic, reliable sources. 2, ask your children what they know. Listen for their answers and clear up whatever misconceptions they have. It is important that you reassure them. And 3, validate their feelings. If your children tell you that they're scared or they're frightened, let them know that it is okay. But continue to provide that love and reassurance so they know that they will get through.
Up next, critical information on the fight to limit the spread of the novel coronavirus in Jamaica.
In terms of measures, the national curfew will be extended, commencing at 6 p.m. on Wednesday, May 6, 2020, and ending at 6 a.m. on Wednesday, May 13th, 2020. The current curfew orders, of course, come to an end on May 6th at 6 a.m. In terms of other measures, under the existing disaster risk management enforcement measures number 4, Order 2020, which expire on Wednesday, the 6th of May, 2020, we will extend those measures until May 31st, 2020. And these measures are the duty of employers to provide transportation for exempted workers for the curfew hours, persons 70 years and over to remain at home. This order to stay at home if you are 70 years or over is absolutely important, and one that even after we have gone through the epidemic, we may very well have to keep it for a little while just to ensure that we protect the vulnerable group in our society. Gatherings in public places not to exceed 10 persons at a time. that is extended until the 31st of May 2020. Physical distancing of 6 feet to be maintained at any gathering. That is to be extended to the 31st of May 2020. The wearing of masks in a public place, that will be extended until the 31st of May 2020, and indeed, that may become a feature of the society as we cope with COVID-19. Now, operating hours for markets and vending in public arcades and public transportation centers, which were set at 6 a.m. to 4 p.m. Mondays to Saturdays only, that will be extended to the 31st of May 2020. Operating hours for businesses no earlier than 8 a.m. and no later than 4 p.m. That will be extended until the 31st of May 2020. Restrictions relating to barbershops and hair salons, that will also be extended to the 31st of May 2020. Operating hours for gas stations, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., and restrictions on only selling petrol during the hours of 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. to 6 p.m. extended until the 31st of March 2020. Operating hours for public transportation and related restrictions, 5 a.m. to 7 p.m. The closure of bars, nightclubs, and other places of amusement, beaches, rivers, waters, and other attractions. Those will remain closed until the 31st of May 2020. And we're studying the impact of the measures on the people whose livelihood depend on the bars. And we're very sympathetic to that situation. And in a few days, we should be able to say to the public exactly what measures we can take. Work from home and related measures that will remain in place until the 31st of May 2020. Person not required to go to work if 65 years and older, or if ill, that measure will remain in place until the 6th of May, the 31st of May, forgive me, the 31st of May 2020. And employers to ensure facilities to wash and sanitize hands of all persons at the workplace, and physical distancing of 6 feet is maintained as far as possible. Those measures remain in place until the 31st of May 2020. And measures regarding the BPO operations, those measures remain in place until the 31st of May 2020.
Within the last 24 hours, I'm pleased to announce that we have had only 2 confirmed positive cases of COVID-19 in Jamaica. So this brings the total to 471 confirmed cases on the island. The 2 new cases are 1 male, ages 12, from St. Catherine, and 1 female, 20, from the parish of Clarendon. Both are contacts of confirmed cases based on the contact tracing. There are 221 confirmed COVID-19 cases related to the workplace cluster in St. Catherine, which constitute, of course, the majority of cases that we have had to date. At this time, there are 35 imported cases, 168 cases that are contacts of a confirmed case, 9 that are local transmission cases, not linked epidemiologically, and 221 are linked to the workplace cluster in St. Catherine, while 38 cases remain under investigation. Some 291, or 62% of the confirmed cases, are females, and the balance, 180 or 38%, are males. And the ages ranges from 2 years to 87 years. 11 more cases have recovered from COVID-19, bringing the total to 49 recoveries. So we're certainly seeing an increased number of recoveries, which is a very positive development. So we now have 49 recovered cases, and unfortunately, of course, we have 9 deaths.
Online and distance learning will continue until July the 3rd. Schools will not physically reopen until the next school year beginning on September the 7th, 2020. There will be a process of assessment and learning for the first 20 days after school reopens, so that we can get a good feel for the level at which each child is, because they have been denied, many of them, an opportunity to experience the classroom environment.
We announced that on Wednesday afternoon, by way of TUI Charter, we will welcome home from the United Kingdom 115 Jamaicans, made up of approximately 75 crew members, including the 43 of the Marella, but from 6 other ships owned by the same cruise line. The additional 40 will be comprised of Jamaicans stranded in the UK who have been affected by the global pandemic in different ways and who have been in touch with the High Commission or with the Ministry regarding their particular challenges. We are also working on a cohort from the United States, and again, we are focused on persons who are having the most challenging of circumstances. It is, however, decided and has been decided by the Cabinet that in recognition of the particular challenges, the particularities of this week's arrivals and the circumstances under which they have been operating over the past 2 months, that the government will absorb the full cost of state quarantine. So this week's arrivals will be supported in their entirety by the Jamaican government. The cost of this will be approximately $64 million. This is a significant cost and one not to be downplayed. It is not, you can't put a dollar figure on the importance of our nationals, but we are recognizing that it is time and we are doing our part to have them come home.
Do you know someone who is battling a drug addiction, addicted to marijuana, cigarette, or hard drugs? Then reach out to the National Council for Drug Abuse. They are still working during this pandemic. Watch this.
Generally across the world, it is accepted that persons with substance use disorders and people who are chronic users, problematic users of various substances, particularly smoking. So you're smoking cigarettes, you're smoking ganja, you're vaping, and then also alcohol use puts you at a unique risk for developing the complications that are associated with COVID.
The novel coronavirus that causes COVID-19 is notorious for attacking the human lungs. It's no wonder then that among the most vulnerable are people with compromised lung function or lung disease as a result of chronic smoking and alcohol abuse. The National Council on Drug Abuse is now more than ever urging Jamaicans to reduce and avoid excessive smoking and alcohol use. Though persons may feel the need to resort to substance abuse during the COVID-19 outbreak due to stress, worry, and fear, this can be a detrimental move. Rather than relieving stress and worry, substance abuse will weaken the immune system, damage the liver and lungs, and put persons at greater risk for suffering the worst symptoms associated with COVID-19 and other life-threatening illnesses. Additionally, the behavioral practice of smoking also poses added risks. If a person's hands are contaminated, then putting a cigarette, spliff, or vaping device at their mouth will cause them to easily become infected with COVID-19. To reduce drug abuse among chronic users, the National Council on Drug Abuse has proposed a few coping mechanisms. Contact your relatives, friends, and ex-addicts if you are struggling with chronic drug abuse. They may not be able to physically be there with you, but a call can give you the encouragement you need. Having a healthy immune system is important to survive this and any other virus, so ensure you eat well and engage in regular exercise to boost your immune system. Some parents are experiencing additional stress by having to supervise their children at home during this time. Structure can make you more productive and lessen chaos. It can also be beneficial to ask your children to help create the schedule. Make time for alone time. Ask other family members in the home to supervise the children while you do something for yourself. Use the time to better yourself, create new habits, focus on what you need to learn, grow, and give. Spend time pinpointing the things that are making you stressed and prone to abusing drugs. Try to address them one step at a time and find ways to distract yourself when these triggers appear. The National Council on Drug Abuse is now offering telecounseling throughout the island. For the Eastern Office, persons can call 876-926-9002 or 876-469-2521 for the Central Office and 876-940-2240 for the Western Office. Persons can also contact the General Helpline at 876-564-HELP. That's 876-564-4357.
Apart, but still in it together. United, though not physically. Welcome to the period of social distancing, an important method to contain transmission of the novel coronavirus, COVID-19. Social distancing keeps people from interacting closely or frequently enough to spread an infectious disease. Social distancing involves minimizing contact with people. It also extends to avoiding public transportation as much as possible, limiting non-essential overseas travel, working from home, and skipping public gatherings.
For persons who are particularly sociable, really you should keep down the group meetings. I know it's difficult, but please. And at a time when persons are visiting or so, the hugging and the kissing, no. As much as possible, just cut that out until COVID is gone.
Locally, schools and other gathering places such as bars, nightclubs, and similar areas of entertainment have been ordered closed. A number of large events such as sporting activities have also been cancelled. Even if persons must gather, then the social distance rule of 1 meter must be adhered to. Also, no more than 10 persons are allowed to congregate within the same space at a time. Markets, supermarkets, corner shops, restaurants, and cook shops, which remain open, should at all times do so with a limited number of persons.
Gatherings in any place shall not exceed 10 persons. And this one has to be strictly enforced.
The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, is also subjected to the policy and is permitted to carry seated passengers only. Likewise, taxi operators are required to carry one less passenger than they are licensed to. Social distancing is a tested and proven method to limit the spread of a virus. This strategy saved thousands of lives during both the Spanish flu pandemic of 1918 and in Mexico City during the 2009 flu pandemic.
What we are trying to do is to institute the measures that we believe will inure to greater practice of social distancing, which is what is now being recommended as the most effective way of controlling the spread of COVID-19.
Please note, it is okay to go outdoors, particularly around your yard space if you do have one. Being close to the garden is especially recommended for seniors who may need to maintain exercise of the limbs. The point is not to remain indoors, but to avoid being in close contact with others. When you do leave your home, wipe down any surfaces you come in contact with, avoid touching your face, and frequently wash your hands. Here are some tips to help you maintain social distancing. When you go grocery shopping, buy as much as you can at a time to minimize the number of trips. In addition, select a time when the store is least likely to be crowded. Avoid dining out. You may opt for takeout or delivery service. If you must take public transport, do so during the off-peak hours and avoid taking vehicles that are full. At work, implement the remote work or staff rotation policy to decrease the number of persons within the same space at a time. Also consider virtual meetings.
In some places we've seen pictures where they're conducting a meeting and they have the chairs, they have the space marked out for the chairs, so they have a little square on the floor and they're separated.
Delay trips to crowded venues like the park or malls. The best mechanism to ward off COVID-19 and other contagious viruses is to stay home. If you must venture out, practice social distancing. In addition, take a hand sanitizer with you and use it after touching surfaces and door handles.
Some persons are not comfortable with hand sanitizer, so I'm here to tell you that the hand sanitizer is just as good as soap and water. If you can get hand sanitizer, make sure you check it to see the percentage of alcohol. It shouldn't be less than 60% alcohol. We recommend 70, but sometimes it's hard to find the 70%. So if you see the hand sanitizer and it has 60% alcohol, that can work. If you can't see the concentration of alcohol, do not buy that hand sanitizer.
You have reached the final page of the magazine. Thanks much for being with us on today's journey. Another Jamaica Magazine unfolds tomorrow, so come back same time on this same station. Until then, click on our social media pages. We can be found on all the major platforms such as YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. I'm Theodore Henry. Stay safe, stay home, stay healthy.
This has been a production of the Jamaica Information Service, the voice of Jamaica.